The City of Redlands by Roger Thompson, POL 493, Principles of Public Administration, Discussion Thread, Week Number 3. Enjoy. The first slide is the City of Redlands budget. The budget displayed in these two slides are from the 2018 and 2019 Council adopted budget. The numbers are quite fascinating given that you have a range of viewing back several years as far as the streams of revenue. One of the things that you'll notice in this slide is that the total available financial sources of income coming into Redlands in this past year had basically decreased approximately $4 million. The next slide is the City of Redlands General Fund Revenue and Expenditures. This shows up on the city webpage as Schedule 2. The slide previously obviously was Schedule 1. This is Schedule 2. It's giving an estimated 3-year budget estimate of the general fund, very simplistic forms of revenues and expenditures being brought in by the city. I've included this slide is to give you reference in not only the past years, however, even the estimated revenue streams coming in from the 2019 to 2020, which are estimated revenue and expenditure sources by the City of Redlands. To note, like most municipal governments, the City of Redlands, the revenue stream, approximately about 41% of the revenue generated by the City of Redlands comes in the form of property tax revenue. The secondary amount would be the sales tax revenue, which sales tax encompasses approximately about 25% of revenue generated in Redlands. It's a very interesting note in looking at any municipal government as far as their percentages of where the revenue streams come from. The next slide is the City of Redlands job announcement. The two images on the page were taken directly as screenshots from the City of Redlands opening positions that are currently available. Interesting to note, most of the jobs in the City of Redlands, like quite a few municipal government agencies, you can find either on the city website direct. In this case, we found these job openings on the City of Redlands Human Resource page. You can also go to NeoGov Incorporated, that basically they are a on-demand human resource software company, that assists public service entities in identifying and promoting their job openings. I believe there's about 6,000 public agencies that currently utilize NewGov's web platform. And for those of you who have never been on that site, again, it's neogov.com. Another website to identify jobs is governmentjobs.com. That's a great web platform, getting a little bit more specific on exactly city in that, but great websites. The next slide is from the City of Redlands job advertisement. This is a continuation from the previous slide, which had a list of all of the available positions there within the City of Redlands. I've identified an open position as a planning intern. I thought of its relevance to maybe some of the class members that might be out looking to do an internship while they're in college, to get some job experience in that. I think internships are a great way in your third and fourth year of college and getting job training to help you get a job after graduation. But in any event, discussing the planning intern position, it's part of the, in Redlands, it's part of the Development Services Department. Redlands modified probably about 5 years ago. They encompassed the planning department, the permit department. They encompassed about 5 departments, and now they basically call it the Development Services Department. I guess the intent there was to streamline operations, make it more efficient. However, this internship seeks in essence, a college student that has interest in working for the government. The next slide from the City of Redlands is the job description itself. In this case, as discussed earlier, this has to do with the planning intern position currently available there in the City of Redlands. Again, as mentioned, it's part of the Development Services Department. The minimum job requirements are 2 years of college with major coursework in urban planning or related field. Current enrollment in a bachelor's degree program is desired. Again, if you are in your third and fourth year public administration degree, highly recommend looking into either paid or unpaid internships before graduation as to opening a door for you in the event you currently do not work for a government agency. Moving on with the job duties for this position, the City of Redlands requires that it assists with and completes administrative technical assignments and research. This intern will receive mentoring and a broad experience in a variety of areas within the field of planning and development services. The pay scale for this position is currently offered at $14 per hour on a part-time basis. So for a college student, it'd be a great opportunity. The last slide within my slideshow this week is the question posed to us by our professor to identify one thing this week that was most surprising from our reading this week, our lectures, and resource material that we reviewed this week. I kind of focused in on something I had never even heard of before, which was outcomes-based budgeting. I'm not going to overly go into it other than what's mentioned here on the slide without being a bit redundant. It was a very interesting concept utilized, I believe, in a county in North Carolina. I believe our book had referenced a county in North Carolina. I can see validity within the matrix of using this type. The only concern that I see, and I look forward to having fellow students response and rebuttal on this, is to me it almost seems like it creates an incentive program within government with the remainder of savings or funds available going to possibly pet projects within an agency. You save money, the residual savings can go into whatever you want. In a nutshell, that's what I took away from it. It would be interesting to see. I'm going to do a little bit more research to see if this is a widely held budgeting structure that is, one of several being used by government. I'd like to know if it's only in specific locations across the country. Thank you again for watching my slide presentation. Hopefully I can upload this week to YouTube with success. One of the things I forgot to mention with regards to the budgeting aspect of our assignment this week is a very interesting format, as most municipal governments or government agencies in general are required to follow Proposition 4, which was passed in 1974 and then subsequently amended by Proposition 111 in an off-election June 1990, I believe, is when that passed. Those are very interesting measures by which government has placed limits on revenue spent, and it's very interesting to know the relationship between your own local city and the gap and the measurement between those two percentages is quite interesting. If you need additional information, you can always look it up. I always like looking at it from a historical standpoint with each city. It's kind of an interesting factor when you look at budgets or revenue and income expenditures. It's part of Prop 4 was known as the GAN Limit Act, and if you wanted to Google that, feel free. It's GANN limit, and again, that was passed in I believe 1979. I might be aging myself, but I believe it was 1979. Thank you again for viewing the presentation. I've already started to review several of your reports, and they're just fascinating. You guys always, each and every one of you, I try to look at every single slide presentation, and all of them are just fantastic. So thank you guys very much. Take care.